someone who really get these skills, and yet they want to jobs abroad as well. I'll start with you, Kim, on this.
Yes.
From what you've had the government saying, Professor Kithure Kindiki, the Deputy President, as well as Secretary of Labour, what are your thoughts on this push for having, because it says this is not labour migration, it's labour mobility. And he compares this, saying that there's no difference between someone from Garissa to Nairobi and someone from Nairobi all the way to Frankfurt in Germany, or Kenya to Qatar. It's just, labour mobility. What are your thoughts on this?
It's true, because if we look at labour in Kenya and labour outside in other countries, it's the same thing. Because here in Kenya, at the moment, we don't have jobs. So even if someone is going to another country to work there, it's better than staying in Kenya and not having something to do. It's the same thing.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Ajala, the Cabinet Secretary of Labour, mentions about the recruitment agencies. So when you take a look at the National Employment Authority Integrated Management System portal, and ladies and gentlemen, you can also take a look at this portal just to see what kind of recruitment agencies are fake and are not. It's called National Employment Authority Integrated Management System portal. And about 556, so it has 1,120 that are listed there. But only 556 are permitted to recruit. I've just checked now, yours is also part of the 556. So that means 500 are not. That is very worrying. Wouldn't you agree?
Actually, it's, I wouldn't agree. They're not worrying.
Okay.
Because what UNITA is doing is to make sure that Kenyans are safe. When you see your license in red, that shows that there is something which you did wrong, that the government has refused to renew your license.
Okay.
Yes. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is maybe when you are under renewal, because renewal has been taking some time, like 3 months. So within the 3 months, your license, actually your company will be in red, showing that you are not supposed to export anybody until you are cleared.
So before you cross over to Naivasha, still on that whole train of thought, for yours, you have until 4th of June 25 before your license expires. That's correct?
Yes.
So you have 6 months.
Yes.
So what now happens in these 6 months before now it expires?
So within this month, I must make sure that my tax compliance is in order, good conduct is in order, so that within the last 3 months, I start process of renewing, so that I do not get a situation where my license goes into the red section. Okay. So for the continuity of the business.
Right. So hold on to that bit. Let's cross over all the way to Naivasha. Boots on ground there is Willie Dennis Njiru. Willie Dennis, happy Jamhuri Day to you. Good morning from Naivasha. What are the people saying there? Are they excited about today? Tell us.
And happy Jamhuri Day. They say in Swahili that kucha kulitele tu wazima kama ngarange za mivule au kipenda vigongo. Well said, all said and done. Things are quite different here, and these people are just comparing. The residents here just tried to compare notes in what was there yesteryears and what it is presently. Adele, this in the yesteryears, they said all tractors used to fly flags, the Kenyan flag, but now apparently that is not anything to showcase. And we always had band just practicing for this day, but things have taken a different turn. But a few of the locals here, karibia hapa kidogo, nieleze jina lako. Tunasherehekea birthday ya Kenya ya 61 hivi leo. Una yapi ya kusema?
Mimi kwa majina naitwa Anson Kimemia. Mimi ndiye nasema leo ni birthday ya Kenya. Lakini vile tunapelekwa saa hii si kuzuri vile. Juu kama ukiangalia mambo ya uchumi ni mbaya zaidi. kama uchumi ni mbaya zaidi. Sasa hata kusherehekea ile tunasherehekea yenyewe ni birthday ya Kenya, lakini hatuna vile tunasherehekea juu hatuna kitu kwa mfuko. Tunasherehekea aje?
Hata kama una kitu birthday yako ikifika imefika.
Birthday yangu imefika, lakini tunashangilia ni birthday ya Kenya. Lakini si mambo mengine ya kusema kila kitu tukaa hivyo tu. Chumi imesoroteka kabisa.
Asante, wacha tusikie kutoka kwa mwingine. Ndugu, karibia hapa kidogo. Jina lako? Kenya inasherehekea birthday 61 leo.
Ndiyo kidogo. Asante sana. Kwa majina naitwa Masharia kutoka Naivasha. Kweli tunasherehekea siku nini ya Kenya, birthday ya Kenya. Na vile tunaisherehekea, hatusherehekei kama hapo awali. Tulikuwa tunafurahia ukisikia ati leo ni Jamhuri Day, kila mtu anafurahia bendera nini. But kwa sasa hata tukiwa wa Kenya bado tuko na uoga fulani, kwa sababu ukiongea unashindwa, nitaongea na sijui nitafuatwa na nani. Kama ni mambo ya Kenya, ukisikia ati maendeleo ya Kenya imesimama, kama ni kubadilisha NHIF ilibadilishwa ikapelekwa kwa SHA. Wewe ukienda hospitali ukiwa Mkenya hauna ule uhuru mzuri ati wa kujisikia unaenda hospitalini kutibiwa. Sasa hatuna furaha sana, hatusherekei sana.
Tumalizia na jamaa hapa. Jina lako? Kenya inaadhimisha miaka 61 tangia kupata uhuru hii leo. Jina lako?
Jina langu ni Samuel Wenena, nafanya hapa Naivasha. Mimi ninajua Kenya ilikuwa na utamaduni, na siku kama hii tulikuwa tunasherehekea tukiwa na utamaduni wa Kenya. Kwa hivyo kulikuwa na hata maishara tofauti za bendera nini, tunakunywa maziwa hivyo. Lakini sasa hakuna kitu tunasherehekea. Kitu ya kwanza, tuko msoto wa mifuko. Kitu ya pili, hauna uhuru wa kukaa kama Mkenya, kwa sababu hata venye tunaongea nasikia nimekimbizwa, jua sina uhuru tena. Hata hatujui sasa kiongozi wetu kamili vizuri. Tulikuwa na kiongozi wa taifa, for example, tulikuwa na kiongozi wa Uhuru Kenyatta, hakutafuta mrithi kwa miaka 10, na sasa tunapelekwa vichochoro. Hata uhuru wetu tunaukosea hapo katikati.
Asante, ni hayo tu kwa sasa. Tunashukuru kwa muda wako. Stanley, they used to say, tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, Kenya tunayoipenda daima. Maybe you could take it from there as I hand it over back to you. That is it for me here. My name is Willie Dennis Njero. All viewers, all Kenyans, wherever you are, within the borders and out of the borders, we wish you a great, great day.
Much Willie Dennis Njero. I think at this point you'll be joining our choir together with George Maringa for that song. Back, even as we continue the whole conversation about mobility strategy, and the country, the government is focusing on Kazi kwa ground, Kazi mtandaoni, and Kazi maju. And before we crossed over to Naivasha, we're just trying to understand a number of recruitment agencies in the country. So, according to the National Employment Authority Integrated Management System, it says about 1,120. But after this, 556 are only permitted to work. Is this worrying? I mean, we have 500 recruitment agencies in the country, with so many people who are seeking jobs.
Yes, yes.
Many of them might not even know this 500 are fake.
Yes.
Or the fact that, as he says, there is the things that they have not yet, achieved. Is it worrying on your end?
It's worrying because we are having so many agencies, and at the end of the day, few are registered. What does it mean? So many people are being duped out there. Yes. So I think for the government, what they should do, have a list, maybe on the newspaper, on the portal, for the registered companies, the agencies that are recruiting people. So that if you want to be recruited, if you want to look for a job somewhere, you know, I'm dealing with this agency, and it's it's registered. I think the other thing that the government should give license to the agencies. Yes, so that this one is registered, this one is not registered. And the public should be aware of what's going on. Because I know the agencies, people pay a lot of money, and at the end of the day, you are duped. Yes.
According to that same portal,
yes,
we do have job seekers about 73,974. So as you say, giving more licenses as well, and this is now for both of you.
Yes.
Do we need to have that number of recruitment agencies? Do we need to increase the number from 1,000 to maybe more, given the fact that we have 73,000 plus? And even as the years continue, this number may be increasing.
I think it should be 50-50, because at the end of the day, we have students, we have graduates, we are graduating from university, we have students from the colleges, we have the Form 4 leavers. We are getting so many people outside here without jobs. Okay. So I think we'll have more agencies, but they should be registered.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. How about you?
And we should have rules to govern these agencies, so that at the end of the day, I'm dealing with these agents. Is it the correct? Am I going to get a job? Because why will I pay a large amount of money and at the end of the day I don't get that job?
Ajala, do we need more? Because as you're saying, this other 500, there's something that they haven't yet achieved, according to national employment, according to NITA, really. Do we need to have more, based on the fact that there are about 73,000 plus job seekers on this portal?
Okay, as per the system of the government, anyone is free to register the agents. But on my side, I think the registration fee is a bit high. 500,000 is not something that we should do just take as a small money to be registered as agents. So if they are to register more agents, let them reduce the cost of the license for registration.
Okay.
Also, it's good what the government is doing. It's good because initially in 2011 we were over 2,000 agencies, and things were really bad.
Okay.
People could not do what is called ethical recruitment. So the government came in and reduced all the way from 2,000. We've now moved to 500.
Yes.
And maybe it's going to come to fewer if we don't take serious our jobs.
So that's your fear now?
Yes, it may go. Yes.
That may reduce. Okay, can you tell us the process, because you interact really from young learners back in Mombasa, Precious Case.
Yes.
Very young learners, and then now getting into primary, and then having also taught in university, so you understand that whole process of learning. At this day and age, when you are training a child, do teachers tell them this is the kind of jobs that you need to get? How does that work from an education point of view?
Now, let me speak on behalf of the Nyali Cambridge Link School and Precious Kids. In our school, that is Nyali, Cambridge, and Precious Kids, we dwell mostly on STEM approach of education. This is where we train the learners to be independent at a very young age. At a very young age, they do projects. We do projects like daily. Every Friday, there's a project that a kid is given to do at home with the parent. So there is an interaction between the parent, the teacher, and the learner. Okay. The learner knows from a tender age what he or she is supposed to do, what he or she will be in future. So, yes, because we are training them to be independent. We are training them to be independent in future, to have the critical thinking.
Do you do this in the sense of training them for the global market, or just...
Yes, we are training them for the global market. Okay. We are, actually, it's both. Let me say it's both. Yes.
Because, the question would be, now, apart from, the schools that you're running and Mombasa, really.
Yes.
When you look at the country generally, is this something that, as an education sector, we are focusing on, training the learners, even for, because, for both of you, you'd say, there is a need to have kazi huko nje. But then are we actually training these learners so that they can get jobs and, you know, be competent out here?
Yes, we do. We are training them to work anywhere in the world. If you find yourself in Kenya, you're comfortable. If you find yourself getting a job in another country, you're comfortable. Because you understand what you're doing and you understand what you want in future.
Right.
Yes. We train them to be independent, to have critical thinking, to work as a group, and to cooperate when working with one another. So it's easier for them. If they go to another country, it's easier to interact with other staff. Yes.
There's something that the German ambassador was saying. I don't know if we could have that just to preface before we get that real quick. His German ambassador, Sebastian, talking about the need to actually learn German for these Kenyans. And previously, it was something Adali were talking to help us understand if we could have that soundbite ready. But then, if before that, help us understand that whole process of I am going to work in Qatar, for example, and it's in a month's time. The need for me to even learn the language that is required there.
Okay, the need to learn the language within where you're going is very important. Actually, it makes the communication easy and also understanding the instructions. Because most of the, like, for instance, you've come to work in Kenya, maybe in the rural area, not in Nairobi, whereby everybody just understands Swahili. So if you know a bit of Swahili, it makes your life easier. And that's the reason why actually we need to have a language Language is taught actually so that whenever you go to somewhere, you don't get problems, maybe asking for water, a hotel, asking for food, so that you find your life easy, communication becomes easier. That's the major thing that we look at, that people who are going outside should know at least a bit of the language.
All right.
The place where they are
going. Let me comment on that. I think it's big. Even in schools, like let me say Cambridge, we are introducing different languages. We will be having German, we'll be having French, I'll be having Chinese language. It will be easier for the kids in case I want to take the kids to Germany for exchange program. It's easier to interact with the other students. Yes. And it's easier for communicating. Yeah. It's easier for them even to make friends. It's easier to interact. Yes. Like now I give an example. Yeah, I've been in China like a month ago. It was so difficult for me to interact with the Chinese because I don't know the language. But now if we introduce this language to the learners, when they go there, it's easier for them to do what? To interact with the others.
Right.
Yes.
Our question of the day to you is, what do you expect President William Ruto to address in his speech on this 61st Jamhuri Day? Even as a crossover to George, this is what this George. Kenneth Rubie, he will just tell us how he is uniting the country through the rich class. Ruben Blessing says more promises. Changas Wesley says more promises. Another one here, Orechi Edwin says under development in our country. George, over to you. I don't know from the live chat what they're saying.
Thank you so much, Stanley. And of course, we'll be going back to that set for more conversations and discussions. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching this continued coverage of